Good morning, this is Līgatne again. My name is Oscar, and right now we will reach deep in the history of the earth. Right now we are looking on a monument of history which has deepest historical roots on the ground of Latvia. This sandstone cliff could be approximately 360 million years old. But as you could see, there is not just stretches of nature, there's also human-made doors, which is quite understandable because in Līgatne people quite often has used sandstone cliffs to make caves for their storages. Right now we're crossing Līgatne river, and probably everyone could see the strange way. That is the fish road, because Līgatne river is very, very clear. It's cleaner than more or less every other river in Latvia. And Solomon is coming up the stream every year. And of course, they need some special road to cross this very, very high edge. Please come follow me. If you are speaking about the sandstone, that is nothing else but the bottom of ancient sea. In the period approximately 360 million years ago, there wasn't land. This was Southern Sea. Yes, exactly. We are quite close to the most hottest spots on the globe. And this sandstone right now is opening for us all the history of the earth in a very long period. And sometimes we must look quite careful to find the notes, to find the moments which tell us not only about the history, but even about the future. That's why, my dear friends, this is the most ancient piece. This is the present card. I am not sure, but probably you could try to find those cards today in live. Just please give a comment that you saw it. But right now, let's go and get deeper in the ancient history of the earth. Of course, as already have told, many caves has been made by humans, because nearby there is a part of Līgatne paper mill, and of course people has used those caves to store the fruits and maybe something else. We don't know what exactly. But many caves has been made by nature. And if we are speaking about the nature, The nature of human being is nothing else but willingness to be happy. And this is one of the strangest caves. This is cave of luck. It sounds maybe strange, but I do not believe that I could become happy to get through this cave, but maybe this is a moment that through the internet and the waves of could become a little bit more happy. I could see that there is already someone who became very happy crossing this cave. But if we are speaking about the history, 360 years, millions, that is a period when the first bees came to this earth. Imagine 360 million years. There wasn't any human being on this planet. Creatures who lived mostly used water as a living space. And even from the 19th century, scientists, people who have been interested in deeper history, covered many strange species which we couldn't see anymore on a globe. And I think one of the most interesting species is nothing else but the fish, the creature called Astrorlepis ornata. That is first creature who could live in the water and on the ground. And this Astrorlepis ornata has been found in the caves of Līgatne. This creature could breathe in the water, and this creature could move on the ground. And probably that is the first creature which is the most ancient grandfather of all human beings. But if you're looking on those cliffs right now, that I feel sad. I feel sad because of one point. Of course, we would like to see the monumental nature objects. But unfortunately, people would like to leave their signs on those cliffs, which is forbidden. Firstly, because this is the part of National Park of Gauja, and all those cliffs has been protected by the state. That's why never will try to leave your signs anywhere else as just on a paper, and maybe in internet. But in other hand, that is a possibility to check out what kind of people have been there, what they thought, what is the history of the interest of those magnificent nature objects. And as you could see, the young people of course would like to just fall down from the cliff. Yes. Well, Hello?
Hello.
As you understood, this is the pathway for every single person. Everyone could have a fantastic morning just to have walking through the woods. in this small town of Līgatne. National Park of Gauja, I had mentioned, has been established in 1973. And of course, at that moment, locals was afraid of one common thing. That is a moment where it was forbidden to dig caves. Every single person in Līgatne has his own cave, and all through the 18th, 19th century and 20th century, people made their own caves. But the last caves in Līgatne has been made at the beginning of 80s. But in any case, even right now, everyone from anywhere on the globe could have their own cave. Just they need to put the door, and they could use this cave for their own needs. Caves never has been used for living, but there was a center. In the mid of winter, there was a temperature -20 by Celsius. And he came and asked where I could catch the last bus to Riga. And I must answer that there is no any transport anymore. Then he said where I could stay for the night. I said, well, there is some possibilities, but that's not quite cheap. But then I realized, come on, that could be a fantastic experience to check out, is it possible to survive in Līgatne cave in the mid of winter? And I said, come on, are you ready to sleep in the winter in the cave? And he said, well, that could be something interesting. I have a sleeping bag. Why not? Of course. He just leave the Tourism Information Center, and that was a little bit cold, but it's doable, which means it is possible to sleep in Līgatne cave in the mid of winter. Of course, it's better not to make any fire, because even right now, in the caves of Līgatne, there are a lot of different species, bats and other creatures who's living in those caves, and that is the reason why we are protecting those caves. But sometimes there are some very interested persons who are trying to hide in the caves, maybe sometimes from the society, maybe sometimes just to find peace and quiet. You know, the cave, that is a symbol. That is a symbol of peace, symbol of mind, concentrated mind. And maybe I also need some peace and rest. So I will get in the cave. Oh, that is incredible! That is total crash. I found only cave in Līgatne. I would like to stay alone. And imagine, I have met a woman that I'm sure that is sign of my life. My dear, please, come with me. How do you feel?
I'm cold.
Cold. Oh my goodness. No.
I'll be okay, thank you.
So, I could heat you by my heart.
I feel warmer now, thank you.
How long did you stay in this cave?
About 3 days.
3 days.
Yes.
Oh. And then which was the hardest, first one or the last one?
The second one.
Second one?
Second one.
Okay. That probably you already have waiting for me.
Yes, of course.
Fantastic. You see, if you will come to Līgatne, in any cave, probably you could find your love. My dear, let's move forward. And if I begin to speak about the love, that of course people has fell in love of this place, not just because they had job here in a paper mill, but because this is probably one of the most beautiful places in Latvia. And through the 19th century, people came to Līgatne just to have fun, to take a rest and have a walk. And that's why this pathway has been made some 10-15 years ago. And right now it became most popular place for the locals and the guests to take a rest and have a walk. And I think in this hard COVID situation, walking in the fresh air, that is the best what people could do. But of course, right now, you will see we will cross the bridge, one of several bridges in Līgatne. But this one is quite specific, because every bridge in Līgatne has his own name. And this bridge, name of this bridge is Asian. This name has been given to this bridge because of engineer, one of the greatest engineers of the paper mill in the end of 19th century. And that was a symbolic that most important persons gave their names to the bridges and the streets of this small town, that people could remember them and could remember needs to remember people and the job. In this case, I would like to remember you must look for some specific wooden pieces, which is nothing else but some lucky tickets in amount of 25 euros. My dear, Did you have already hot wine today?
Yes.
Very well. That is just one of the possibilities. Because in Līgatne there is a best winery in Latvia in all the Baltics. That's why, if you will saw those wood pieces at the time of this short tour, you could have something from the wine shop. Well, actually we are quite close to the place which tells us everything about the common life of Līgatne people. In such a line houses, people have lived there from the end of 19th century, and still this is very, very not only common but popular place to live. Even right now, people are fighting to buy the flat in those small houses, and several of them already has been made as a living apartment for the guests. That's why, as we are quite close to those buildings, be careful, watch very, very carefully, because it could be interesting. Could you please show or just write the number of the flat which could be the apartment for the guests? I'm sure that my digital eye will show all the flats on this small hill which has been called Riga Hill. Riga is the capital of Latvia, and right now we are a little bit more higher than Riga in live, but well, you see there's different flats. Each flat, that's a 2-room flats in this house, and one of them is the living apartment. If you will write in the comments, right place, it could be a possibility to stay one night in this flat with a guide. I'm waiting for your comments. And speaking about Riga, right now we are in the same high as a sightseeing platform of Riga Dome Church, which means we are looking to people of Riga from above. This is Līgatne. Uzsniga sniedziņš balts, balts kā vismalkākie miltī. Uzsniga sniedziņš balts, un zemei palika siltī. Vienmēr uz pasaules kāds, kuram bez tevis ir augstī, un pat aiz pasaules vēl vajagā siltu plaukstu. Vienmēr uz pasaules kāds, kuram bez tevis ir augstī, un pat aiz pasaules vēl vajagā siltu plaukstu. This was song about warm. And I think in a half an hour, in this nice weather of the winter without snow, we still need some warmth. And that's why, my dear friends, in a couple of minutes we will reach the most important cave in Līgatne. That is Cave of Līgatne Winery. Stay with us. We will be back in a couple of minutes.